So this morning I ended up on Nebraska Talk, and it was a bunch of people crying, why does anybody care about Nebraska? When we voted for Kamala Harris, when I cast my vote for Harris, that was me saying, I care about you and I want you to survive and thrive. Okay, you knew better than anybody else that your state thrives and survives off of migrants' backs. Okay, and instead of them waiting for ICE to come, they decided to peace out before they could come and get them. I don't know what to tell you guys anymore. This is what you voted for. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, this is exactly what you voted for. And now you're feeling it. What do you want us to do? You want a government handout? That's socialism. You voted against that. No. Sadly, the reality is that you'll probably have to sell a lot of your farms for pennies on the dollar to large corporations and manufacturers. But don't worry, they'll probably let you work there for minimum wage.
I do not care about Nebraska going bankrupt in 6 months. I do not care. I do not care. Maybe a few other of those red states should go bankrupt in 6 months so the blue states can swoop in to save them, so they can understand that we are not the bad ones. We are not the poor ones. We are not the ones who cannot survive under the orange turds' crazy policies. But you know why I don't feel bad for Nebraska? You know why? Because I believe I heard 65% of their workforce is undocumented people, which means they're not coming to work anymore, which means work's not happening, which means all the farmers in Nebraska are going to go bankrupt because they all went out there and voted against their neighbors. 65% of neighbors who are immigrants, okay? Fuck around and find out at this point. You know what I mean? And of course, I do feel bad for those blue people in Nebraska who did not vote for this. So unfortunate. That's what you get for being racist and not wanting immigrants in this country, even though they're paying taxes and contributing. So
there's stories all over the internet about farmers going bankrupt across the country. And I want you to know, I want to feel sorry for you. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to care at all. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because typically I have empathy, but I'm really, really tired of telling you farmers and you people that are in rural parts of the United States, I'm tired of telling you what your vote does to you. Yeah, I mean, you guys in the red states, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're broke. You don't have any money. West Virginia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, you get my point. You're broke, and yet you keep voting for the Republican Party that wants nothing to do with you. And farmers, guess what? You're included. But you keep voting red, and now you want me to feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Nebraska farmers are learning the hard way that racism is expensive. They supported mass deportation without thinking about their livelihood. And the immigrant workers, they help keep their farms running, planting crops and harvesting fields, jobs that many Americans are not willing to do. Now they are struggling to survive. So let's have a look. Please like and hype the video and let me know your thoughts in the comments, alright? Let's get into it.
Hey Nebraska, do you need a tissue for your issues? Hey Nebraska! Save the drama for your mama. What happened, Nebraska? Did voting for Trump ruin your economy? Oh, that's weird. That's so weird. It's kind of like we told you so, right? Oh, I love this. I like to stick it in your face and rub it in. It's kind of like, when Trump was telling everybody he was going to come after the undocumented people in this country that were working hard and deport them, that they would kind of move to a state they felt safe in. And apparently, Nebraska wasn't one of them. They packed up their stuff and they headed on out to a state that would welcome them with open arms. So now you're going bankrupt. And as somebody that lives in a blue state, I could give a shit less. Boo-hoo.
I have a question for the rest of America. Does anyone even care about Nebraska? Does anyone even care? What do you want? What the fuck do you want? Hypothetically, if we did care, what would that look like to you? Because based on the way you guys vote, you're getting exactly what you wanted. You quite literally are getting the exact thing that you voted for. The decision that these farmers made are leading them straight to the loss of farms they've had in their families for generations because they hate those illegals so much, you know? Wait, did you want them to go to work so that you could watch them be rounded up for your own perverse pleasures? You want them absent from work on your terms so you can have a little show? Otherwise, I don't know what the hell you're mad at. And I know you aren't asking for a handout. I know us caring about Nebraska isn't welfare. To save people from decisions they made themselves? Isn't that at the root of why you said... And girl, you do not have to tell me who you voted for. Okay? And I'm almost certain you would still say I'd vote for him again. God helps those who help themselves. Okay.
Why are all the people that were worried that immigrants were taking their jobs not concerned at all that AI actually is taking their jobs?
Oops. Guess you're just a racist.
It's time right now to destroy the biggest myth in immigration. And I'm going to do it with hard data, no opinion. And here's the myth. Undocumented immigrants don't pay taxes and live off the system. And the reality is the absolute opposite. In 2022, undocumented immigrants paid $97 billion in taxes. And they don't get any Social Security back. They can't collect Medicare. And they're blocked from all federal welfare programs, including SNAP. A construction worker who pays into Social Security every week will never see $1 back until he gets his green card. A housekeeper who pays their federal taxes with an ITIN number, a federal tax ID number, will never see a dime back from food stamps or Medicaid. And a restaurant worker who has their taxes withheld every week, that restaurant worker will never be able to collect $1 of unemployment if they're laid off. So when people say that undocumented immigrants are living off the system and should be thrown out, they don't realize they're arguing to take money out of their own pockets, because undocumented immigrants are propping up our Social Security and our Medicare. Even the Congressional Budget Office says undocumented immigrants reduced the federal budget by more than $900 billion over a 10-year period, because they pay a lot more in taxes than they ever receive. And these are facts, and I dare anyone to argue against me.
So by now we've all heard that Nebraska is going to go bankrupt in about 2 months, 60 days, give or take. And Nebraska was a state that voted overwhelmingly for that guy. And now they're all crying and screaming because their workforce is gone. All the immigrants that were there doing whatever they did for them, gone. All these people jumping on TikTok, all over social media, complaining about how they're about to lose their farms because they don't have anybody to work the farms. My thing is, like, when the man told you he was going to deport the immigrants and y'all still voted for him, did you think he was joking? Because his hatred for immigrants and people of color and anybody who's not a wealthy white man was the first clue that the rest of us got that he was going to do what the hell he said he was going to do. Let's be real about it. He tried it and got blocked in 2016 because at that time there were people in places in the administration that prevented him from doing that. Well, now he done got rid of all those people who would have stopped him from doing this craziness. So all that's left are the people like them, like y'all, who voted for this, who agree with the shit. I'm having a hard time understanding why we should care. Why those of us who didn't fuck around but are also finding out, why are we supposed to care? Why are we supposed to be like, oh, you are sorry and you regret your vote because you're about to lose your family farm and God knows what else? We all got drama that we got to deal with and live through. There are a lot of people worried every day about losing their jobs. People who have jobs that are 100% federally funded, who are worried every day that they get up if that's going to be the day that they go to work and they tell them, oh, we're done. You don't need to come back. So why should we care about you when we all got to be out here worried about our own self? So all I'm saying is the fuck around and find out is real for all of us. But for those of y'all that voted for that shit, y'all need to eat it.
So maybe this is another unpopular opinion, but I feel like you should have to live with the repercussions of your vote. And if you don't want to live with the repercussions of your vote, maybe you should actually vote a different way. But if you do vote that way, then you should have to live with that repercussion of your vote. And if it causes you to go bankrupt and for you to lose everything, then so be it. That is on you. So I hope going forward that you've learned from this and that you will vote a different way and vote for something that actually is for your best interest. Most likely you probably won't. I guess we'll see.
And what even gets me, the people they wanted deported, they are not strangers. These are people who have spent decades working in their fields. They have raised children, built relationships, paid taxes, attended churches, so they have become part of their communities, and yet still, they wanted them to be deported. I mean, racism is so bad. The truth is that agriculture in the US have always depended on immigrant labor for decades. These are people that do physically demanding jobs that many Americans are not willing to do because of low wages too. And without them, crops remain unharvested. And when crops remain unharvested, farmers lose revenue. When farmers lose revenue, our local economies suffer, small businesses suffer, and the entire region, they feel the impact. The lesson here is that our policies do not exist in a vacuum. Every political decision eventually affects jobs, businesses, families, and the entire communities. When people cast their vote, they are not simply supporting the slogans or the campaign promises. They are making decisions that will shape the future of their daily lives. But I believe immigration policy should be approached with seriousness and balance rather than anger, fear, and even racism. America should come up with laws that are fair and realistic, Laws that respect the national sovereignty, yes, but also recognizing the contributions of hardworking immigrants, because immigrants should not be treated as enemies or even villains, They deserve dignity, and their families should be considered also. People should stop voting based on emotions rather than examining how the policies will affect their daily life, because the success of farmers, workers, consumers, and local businesses are all tied together. And when one group suffers, the effect spreads everywhere. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.